Hello there viewers, and welcome back to another video today here on Gran Turismo Sport. So today we are racing around Dragon Trail Gardens 2, which I'm not going to lie isn't a track I particularly like. Off the top of my head I can't think of a single corner which I enjoy driving around here. Nevertheless, we're going to try our best here as we make our debut in the Club 100 GT series. So for those of you who don't know what this series is, Club 100 is basically the UK's premier hire karting series, which tours the country and it's been going since the early 1990s. Now last year, a group of Club 100 drivers decided to set up a GT Sports series for a bit of fun and just kind of as a bit of a social event, just to socialise with one another. Now the format of the series is that every Tuesday night you have two rounds, one of which is in maxed out Mazda MX-5 touring cars with a 10-minute qualifying session followed by a 20-minute sprint race. For the second round, you then have a 30-minute long reverse grid race in Group 3 cars, where Tyre Wear is on and pitting for new tyres at the halfway point is something you very much have to consider doing. So as we skip ahead then to our fastest lap of the session, so fortunately for this lap, I managed to get into the slipstream, so you can see in front you've got Malu CM, that's Callum Marshall. Now he is a very fast driver, for those of you who don't know who he is. Really quick. As you can see, he's a member of the CRG esports team. So as we come across the line then to complete this lap, this was our first time lap quali. We do a 1:38.7. so as you can see on the left, that has put us third, which isn't, in my opinion, isn't too bad. So for this race, probably get about half hour's practice, I think it was. Didn't do too much. I was more focusing on the Group 3 race, which you'll see later. But yeah, that puts us third for the time being, so not at all bad as we try and get out of the way there. And we have the one and only Super GT go through us there. So we were temporarily inside Super GT there at one point, which is it's an interesting feeling, let's say. But yeah, that's that lap over. Throughout the rest of qualifying, didn't manage to improve. So with that lap, you managed to use Malu CM basically. I managed to use Callum to pull me along, managed to utilise his slipstream. So yeah, didn't manage to improve on that lap time for the rest of the session. So as we skip ahead to the race here, ended up being 7th on the grid. And well, as you can see for Club 100, we use grid starts, which is it's interesting, let's say. It makes for an interesting lap one, that's for sure. It makes for some interesting viewing. So as we sit here on the grid then, waiting to make our debut in the Club 100 Esports Leagues, whack on a bit of traction control, get the radar on, and well, get ready for 20 minutes of fun. So away we go then, get a decent start, get a very good start compared to Super GT, that's for sure. I think Steve may have forgotten to put his traction control on. As we head down to turn 1, just being cautious at this point. Last thing I want to do is go punting everyone off, and we actually make up a number of positions here as we make our way up to 4th place. So we've gone from 7th to 4th in one corner here. But have a look at that radar. It's yeah, going to be an interesting corner coming up now, coming up into turn 3 as we have to back out really, as Jack Cameron Drayton has a huge bit of lag there. We have to back out of that move there. We were 4th going into turn 3 there, but have to pull out to well, stop there from being a massive pile up. So down to 7th place now, looking up the inside of Ryan. Ooh, bit of contact there. I didn't actually intend to go for that move, believe it or not. That was a completely unintentional overtaking attempt there. I just kind of went up his inside in avoidance. But as we head down now into the hairpin for our first lap, check out this radar as our teammate comes flying in on the radar. Fortunately managed to avoid us though. Treviso, yeah, coming in with a lunge on Callum. So we're in 7th place, so not a great start, but I mean it's where we started. 7th was where we started, so not the worst start in the world, as we are looking, well, we're looking to keep up with Ryan here. Ryan, very quick driver. I'm racing him in another league called the Medway Racing League, and he is very quick as Jesus, we had 2 wheels up in the air then. We were looking to go up the inside of Ryan, and then we discovered that curb has a vertical lip to it, and yes, got sent very much onto our side. But we're up to 6th place now, as Jack had a bit of an off going out of that corner there, and we are now looking, are we going to get up to 5th place here? We're looking up Ryan's inside. I don't really want to be fighting at this point in time, because, well, I mean, scrapping with 18 minutes to go is never really a good idea. You're just going to pointlessly lose time. But yeah, looked up Ryan's inside there. He did the cutback on me, fair dues. I want to get past because I want to catch up the people in front, but I don't really want to fight either. So me and Ryan, we're having a bit of a disagreement, let's say right now, as to who should lead the train, who's going to catch up the white guys in front. So Ryan's on our inside here, we're dicing around here, losing time, it's not great, and well, after not too long, we came to an agreement, and basically, as you can see here, Ryan gets in front. At this point I went, do you know what, Ryan, I'm just going to follow you. I'm just going to follow you along, push you along, try and use your slipstream, and yeah, let us catch the pack up in front. Now, as you can see, Ryan was, well, he was correct, let's say, to go past. He was correct to take the lead because he was faster. So you can see he's 1.6 seconds ahead of me now. But I do start to get into a bit of the rhythm. You can see there, I just did a 1:38.7, which is, well, that's as quick as we went in qualifying. So first few laps were a bit of a mess. I wasn't very quick, I was making mistakes, but I get into a rhythm here. Lap times, you can see, did a pretty good lap time there, as we're now chasing down the pack in front. So Ryan, he's got past Marky Boy. So Marky Boy, he's a quick driver, but can be, let's say, inconsistent. He's a bit of an erratic driver. Can be quite mistake prone. Very, very quick on his day. When he puts the practice in, he is one of the fastest players in Britain, to be honest. Regularly gets top 10 on the EMEA leaderboards when he tries, but yeah, can be a bit inconsistent. So we're trying to reel Mark in now, but in the meantime we have a bit of an incident. So we clobber the curb on the inside of the turn 2 there and get a poor exit. So we've got Jack right behind us, been behind us all race long, right on our back bumper, and he's got a run on us here coming into this turn 3. But well, just look at that radar. Yeah, Jack made a bit of a mistake. I think he was a bit too focused on me and trying to go around my outside and sort of forgot to brake. So as we check out the replay of that incident now, Jack's race kind of came to a bit of a sorry end. He, as he disappears off screen there, his race... Well, certainly his race with me came to an end, and well, that was the end of that basically with me and Jack. So we're in 6th place now, got a gap behind, we've got 1.5 seconds back to our teammate Trev. And well, we've got a gap in front as we're trying to hunt down the lead pack. Now, as you can see, the 3 guys in front, they are fighting. So you've got Mark, you've got Ryan Sandel, Rosballs, and well, the man himself, Super GT. So yeah, having a bit of a punch up in front, which is allowing me to gain. So as we skip ahead a couple of laps here, as you can see, we did manage to catch the 2 of them up. So we managed to catch Mark up and Steve right in front of him. Steve was having a bad few laps here, struggling to get into a bit of the rhythm. I think Steve, like me, was suffering from a lack of practice. And yeah, as Mark looks to go round the outside of Super GT here, we're up, Mark's inside, and are we going to make the move stick? Ooh, no, not quite. So Steve and Mark both off in the grass there. I was a little bit too slow onto the throttle coming out of turn 2 there, so that's why Steve and Mark managed to stay in front then. I probably should have got my elbows out a little bit more. But now, going through this very long left-hander reminds me a little bit of a Turkey turn 8, but an awful version of it. So yeah, going into the back of Marky Boy here, trying to look for a way past. So you can see up in P3, Ryan managed to check out. So Ryan's the reigning champion of this series, won the championship in both seasons. So he's managed to check out in front. I'm trying to follow him through, but I'm struggling to do so here. So we're all over the back of Marky Boy as he moves over to the right to try and look up Steve's inside. Mark doesn't go for the move, but I do. I go for the move on the exit, and well, as you can see there, it didn't go very well. It didn't go very well, so yeah, that was completely my mistake then. Coming out of that corner, I got on the throttle and I didn't leave him enough space, to be honest. I thought I had, clearly not, and well, I took him out completely. So yeah, you can see here, I'm just slowing right down, waiting for him to come back past, to be honest. Just yeah, letting him back through. However painful it may be to let someone back through, it's the only thing to do in that situation. You can't just continue as if nothing happened. That was completely my fault. So we're down in 10th now. Not great. That is quite a dent on our hopes. We were battling for 4th at that moment in time, and now down to 10th place. But there's 3 minutes remaining. There is still progress to be made. You can still come back somewhat from this. We can still get back past Marky Boy. We can make a clean move stick, and you also got Callum Brule in front. Also could still catch him up. So we've got 2 laps to go now, and well, as we skip ahead now to the start of the final lap, we are right on the back bumper of Marky Boy. We're in the slipstream heading down to turn 1, move over to the right, and we go for the move. So we're up the inside of Marky Boy into the first corner. I think, in my opinion, was quite a good move, to be honest. Quite a good move up his inside, did him on the brakes, Marky obviously didn't defend. Now coming down to turn 3, coming down to this awful long left-hander, we've got Marky Boy on the right, so he's on the outside as we're coming into this fast left-hander. So we're on the brakes and he does the cutback. He does the cutback with me. I wasn't expecting it, but then that happens. Then he did that. So well, yeah, that happened. At first I thought it was deliberate. I thought it was retaliation. Looking back on it, I'm not sure. He said it was unintentional. Yeah, I'll take his word for it. But I mean, at this point, I didn't want to know. I was just in rage mode. As you can see me go flying off into the barrier here. I would have quit, to be honest. If this was just a kind of a normal race, I would have quit. But I mean, there's 30 seconds left, and well, I'm not going to be rage quitting from a league I've only just joined. So now we're on the last lap. We've got Kirith Kart on our inside actually here. To be honest, at this point, I didn't care. I did not care one bit. I was just raging, and yeah, on the final lap now, following Kirith in the lowly heights of 12th. As we come towards the end of the race. So yeah, I think safe to say this race was going quite well, considering I only did half hour of practice to be battling for 4th. I was doing quite well as Kirith. I don't know what that was, Kirith, but you didn't get that corner right. I think that's safe to say, as you rejoin the circuit at 90 degrees to the direction of travel as we come out of this final corner now in 12th place. Come across the line, like I say. Race didn't go to plan. Not all races do. It was my fault, to be honest. Certainly the first incident, that was just completely my fault. To be fair to myself, I haven't done any sprint racing for months. Like, I haven't done any wheel-to-wheel racing for a very long time. I do endurance racing normally. I do like 1 hour endurance races, so you don't really battle anybody ever. It's all about strategy and fuel saving and stuff like that. So yeah, in my defence, was a bit rusty, but yeah. We move on. We move on to the next race. So got Monza coming up next. Got round 2 Monza. Now, before I show you the proper race, first of all, we did a practice race a few days beforehand. So just going to go through the quick highlights of this race as we wait for the 5 lights to go out. So we get away here. The guy in front doesn't really get away, and yeah, we have to go around him. And well, heading down to turn 1 at Monza. Well, you know what the reputation is like for turn 1 at Monza. Its reputation has not changed, as you can see. Look at that radar, just look at that. Like, what the hell was that? Yeah, turn 1 Monza living up to its normal standards as half the grid dies. So I just went from 4th to 1st to 8th in the space of about 20 seconds. So yeah, Monza being its normal good old self, as we're now, like I say, down in 8th place. So as we skip ahead now to lap 3, going down into turn 1, looking to get 4th place here, managed to make our way back past some of the drivers who we'd lost out to on lap 1, as we get a little bit of a punt, into turn 1 here. Do you know what? I don't mind that, because it pushed me through into 4th place. It pushed me into 4th place, and it gave me a bit of an excuse to go for an aggressive move. So yeah, we've made our way back up to 4th place, back to where we started, and yeah, decided a few laps later to come into the pits to change tyres. So yeah, came in to change tyres at the halfway point. Turns out this is not a very good idea, as I came to realise later on in the race, the strategy in this league is basically to do the non-stop. The time you lose by changing tyres, very difficult to make that time back up, unless it's like a really twisty circuit, which is really hard on its tyres. Unless it's that, there's not much point in pitting. So yeah, come out the pits in 9th place here, and well, basically last out of all the people that are still in the race. We did manage to recover though to P4, so got a decent result in the end in this practice race. Managed to make our way back up to 4th place, quite a lonely P4 in the end actually. The tyres, being on the new tyres for the second half of the race was definitely beneficial. I definitely did reel my way back through the pack, made my way back up to P4, but yeah, not really worth it. So as we skip ahead to the actual race, so going to try and take our lessons from the practice race into the proper race. So starting P3, we're now in the Mazda. So before this race, just before the race, I had a bit of a panic, to be honest, about the tyre wear. and I changed to the Mazda at the last minute, and I only did about 5 laps practice in this car. So yeah, this race is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a learning on the fly. So as the 5 lights come on, put traction control onto one to stop that wheel spin off the line, and away we go. Now, it was at this point that I discovered that the Mazda is awful at standing starts. As you can see on that radar, and look behind, I'm getting swamped. Already down to 5th place, and it gets worse from here. I'm now down to 7th. This is from 3rd place, remember, on the grids. Just look at that radar. There's cars left, right and centre, and I'm into 6th. So that's a bad start, that's for sure. Gone from 3rd down to 6th already. And it was at this point now that I discovered that the Mazda's got no straight line speed either. So it wasn't a good start. It was a not good start, and quite a sickening feeling at this point as you realise you've got the wrong car. So yeah, go through the second chicane here. Bit clumsy for that second chicane. Always is a bit of contact as everyone closes in on one another. Trying to get past Callum here. Trying to look at the inside, can't quite get past. Ooh, briefly went inside him then. That's interesting. And well, it was at that point then, going through Lesmo 2, that I discovered that this car doesn't like curbs either. As I used the curb on the inside of Lesmo 2, and the car did not like it. Car got thrown off back and got kicked out. As we've got a car come flying up our inside. Tim Clark clearly missed his braking point because he just came in like a cannonball there. So yeah, that was interesting. Having to dodge him there. That let Ryan Sandall through. Then let Roswell through into 6th as I had to take avoiding action and take to the gravel trap myself. Now we've got Super GT right behind us, giving us a bit of a bump draft, pushing us along. Steve also picked the wrong car for this race. He picked the Peugeot RCZ, which is a fellow rubbish car with no straight line speed. As you'll see in this series, in the Group 3 series, there's a lot of Corvettes, as our team we're getting swamped at this point. We've got our teammate on the right, Super GT on the left. Look at Trevor in that Corvette, look at that straight line speed. Yeah, the Corvette's an absolute monster on the straights, and this car is not. So yeah, I was at this point regretting switching to the Mazda. I wish that I had stuck with the Corvette. Like I say, reason why I switched was because of the tyre wear. The tyre wear is quite severe in this league, and I was scared of what the tyres would be like come the end of the race. Hence why I changed. But well, we're just sinking it. We've gone from 3rd to 10th in a lap, basically, as Nathan comes past us. It's not going well at this point, so you can skip ahead here. So we're on at lap 7 now. We are 10 minutes ahead into the future now, and well, we're all the way down to 11th now. We've been overtaken by the entire pack. Basically, we're right at the back of the train now, and well, I'm struggling to keep up pretty much. On the straights, I'm losing so much time. I am making up a lot of time in the corners, but it's just nowhere near enough. Fortunately, the guys in front are fighting. The guys at the back of the pack, they are having a punch up, which is allowing me to, well, keep tabs basically, as Marky Boy now falls to the back of the pack. And well, you can see Super GT up in front, he's off of the gravel. So Steve dips the wheel into the gravel there. That allows me to basically catch back up to the pack, get back onto the back of them. Marky Boy hits the wall there, and I'm now looking to see if I can go up the inside of one of them, seeing if I can capitalise. And yeah. We discover once more that this car doesn't like curbs, as I get ejected off to the right by the curb on the inside of Lesmo 2, and all that time that I'd made back up then, I've lost once more, and I'm back to being 2 seconds behind the pack again. So at this point in the race, yeah, things weren't going well. I wasn't happy. I was really kicking myself for choosing this car. I was really regretting not keeping that Corvette, because if you look at someone like Kirith Car, who I think I am as quick as, or quicker than, and is in the Corvette, he's off in the lead. If you look at that track map, he's crossing the start finish line now. He's about 5 seconds off in the lead, and I'm like, oh, I could have been me. Started right behind him on the grid. I could have been in his position right now, but instead I'm 12 seconds behind at the very back of the pack. And well, I've gone from being 6 seconds ahead of 12th place to only being 2.5 seconds ahead of him, so I'm heading straight for last place at this moment in time. But good news is things do get better. As we skip ahead then another 10 minutes, so we now got 7 minutes to go as we come into the Ascari chicane. So you can see in front the organiser Sam has a little bit of an off, goes into the gravel trap and gets himself a number of penalties. I have managed to catch the pack back up, so I am now on the back of Marky Boy, and I've managed to stabilise the gap to the people behind too. So you can see Jack Cameron Drayton down in 12th, stayed at 2.5 seconds behind fortunately, as Marky Boy's up the inside of Sam, going through the parabolica, and we get up Sam's inside, coming out of the corner. Sam having a bit of dodgy internet, as you can see on the radar, as his arrow jumps around somewhat. I think at this point Sam decided just to tuck in behind me, just tuck in, use my slipstream. He did have a penalty as well, and the rules in this league are that you cannot overtake if you have a penalty, hence why Sam didn't go past it and just tucks in behind, gets rid of the penalty, as we give Marky Boy a little bit of a tap there going through the first chicane. And well, I mean, you can just see the lack of straight line speed of this Mazda. By this point in the race, I had decided that this Mazda, this was going to be its one and only race in Club 100. I was not going to continue with it after this round, as Marky Boy brakes remarkably early for that corner. Give him a little bit of a pump there. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I don't know if he got mixed up with his braking boards, but yeah, 5.5 minutes to go now. Down in 10th place. Fortunately, well, Kirith hasn't pulled away too much over the last 10 minutes. He's pulled away by about 2 seconds or 3 seconds, so not too bad. We've managed to get into a rhythm. You can see from the lap times on the right, to consistent low 1 minute 47s, but a high 1 minute 46 thrown in there too, so not too bad now. As we skip ahead then to the penultimate lap of the race, we are right on the back of Mark coming into this first corner now as we head towards the first chicane. Are we going to look to go for the overtake? Yes, we are. We're very late on the brakes going to this first chicane. Fortunately, Martin ghosts just at the right time, just as we're about to smash into the side of him, so that saves our bacon in that respect. But yeah, we were too late on the brakes then into that first chicane. We did go in too deep, so back down to 10th place we go, back behind Marky Boy once more in that hugely powerful Corvette. Are we going to look for a move into the second chicane? No, we are not, as Martin goes very deep actually and has to cut across the second part of the second chicane there. Now coming down to Lesmo 1, can we look for a move with 2 laps to go? No, we don't look for a move on Marky Boy, but Martin has a really big twitch there. I think he may be on a controller, had a big snap of oversteer midway through that first Lesmo, so that enables us to get past on the exit into the second Lesmo. Managed to get up his inside, so we're up to P9. We're up to P9 now, in Marky Boy's slipstream, looking to see if we can get past as we get on the brakes for the Ascari chicane. And look at the radar, Martin, I think Martin may have missed his braking point into the Ascari chicane, because yeah, came into the side of me there, nearly spun me out, managed to save the slides, but that has compromised us through Ascari. And now going down towards the parabolica, Jack, well, he comes past us basically, he got the run on us, going through Ascari and just blasted past before we'd even got to parabolica as well. Martin on the radar completely exits stage left, he goes miles off the circuit, so I'm not quite sure what was going on there. Either his controller, he was having problems with his controller, or his wheel, I'm not sure what he's on. Something clearly was going wrong, as we're now looking on this final lap to see if we can get past Jack, get back up into 9th position. We look to go around the outside into this first part. Obviously this will become the inside for the second part of the chicane, and no, that doesn't work unfortunately. I tried to go for it, but no, it didn't work, as Sam temporarily came past us then, and then he realised that he has a penalty, and his own rule is that you can't overtake when you've got a penalty, so he had to back off then, so he didn't break his own rule. Now, are we going to go for a move into the second chicane? Yes, we are. Are we going to make this one stick? No, we are not. No, we are not. I wasn't quite so aggressive with that one. I actually braked on time, and yeah, no, didn't manage to get past unfortunately. As we enter Lesmo 1 for the final time, got Tim Clark right behind us now actually. Tim Clark, remember, earlier on in the race went flying off into the gravel trap at Ascari, as he came torpedoing up the inside, so he's now well, he's within our slipstream range, so I've got to think about him as well as trying to get past Jack. Coming down to Ascari, are we close enough to go for the move? I don't think we are, as Jack thought about defending and then realised that my car's got no straight line speed, and so you don't need to defend against me. As we go through a scurry, get a snap of oversteer as the curb ejects us. And well, having a look at the tyre wear, the tyres aren't in great condition. My tyres were actually worse than Kirif's, and the Kirif was in the Corvette. My tyre wear was really quite bad. As we go into the back of Jack, going into Parabolica on the final lap, see, can we get past him on the run to the line? We're in his slipstream. Can we get past? No, we cannot. Obviously we cannot. We're in the Mazda. Of course we can't get past the Corvette on the straight. So yeah, come across the line in P10. Obviously that did not go to plan, that race. But I can bring you good news. I have a crystal globe. I have a crystal ball, and I can see into the future. And the good news which I can bring you is that things do get better from here. So I mean, as I said earlier, midway through this race I decided that this Mazda would continue no further. It would cease to be used after this race. So I did go back to the Corvette, and you will see what happens in the next race in a couple of videos time. So stick around for that. I hope you enjoyed watching this, guys. Apology for the audio being a bit rubbish. I am very much learning how everything works here. I'm constantly changing my mic positioning as I'm talking here, and yeah, just fiddling about with things. So hope you enjoyed watching that. Like, subscribe, do all that kind of basic stuff. Feel free to do that, and I will see you in the next video. So, goodbye.